Hey Astro fam, it's Tim Soaring Wolf, and thank you for joining me for my first official astro weather forecast for this channel. So if you haven't already before, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button below. And happy World Astrology Day. It is World Astrology Day today, the first official day of the astrological new year. And so, what a great time to start something new, like a new YouTube channel. At the urgings of others, I finally did it, guys. Finally started this channel. I hope to reach the people that I'm intended to reach. And this is a great week for new beginnings overall. Not only is this the new year astrologically, Mercury entered Aries yesterday, the sun today, and tomorrow, the new moon in Aries. So as we finish up this old astrological year with Pisces season and we enter into Aries, we will experience that burst of energy, that fresh springtime Aries energy. And Aries is bold, courageous, fiery, knows what he wants. And therefore, we are encouraged this week to be like that persona of going after what we want, dreaming big, shooting for the stars, believing that nothing is too impossible or too wonderful for us. Now, we have already seen a lot of very interesting transits this month, starting with the Jupiter conjunct Venus earlier this month. Right at the same time, Mercury was conjunct Saturn. At the peak of the full moon, right around that time, the full moon in Virgo, opposite the sun in Pisces, we had Saturn moving into Pisces, leaving Aquarius. So after 3 years and entering into this new 3-year cycle, that again was also a big shift. But one of the biggest shifts that I really want to talk about is happening this week in just a few more days. And that is going to be Pluto in Aquarius. And yes, Pluto is still a planet. He always has been. He never left in astrology. And Pluto was discovered in 1930. And of course, being the farthest away planet from our sun, Pluto brings a message of depth, deepness. And there's other things that Pluto is associated with. Hades, of course, the god of the underworld. The orbit of Pluto is interesting. While all other planets kind of go around the same path around the sun, Pluto orbits just a little bit above that elliptic line and then goes underneath it just a little bit. But again, just matching that theme of death and rebirth, of going above, going below. And just like Hades goes down into the other underworld. Other themes that are associated with Pluto have to do with power struggles, sex, intensity, power in the governments in general, generational themes, because Pluto, moves so slowly, being through the zodiac, being so far away. So, Pluto is just a very interesting planet, now being considered the new ruler of Scorpio, the modern ruler, and does have a lot of similar traits with Scorpio. Scorpio ruling the eighth house of the zodiac, also bringing messages of death and rebirth, transformation. It's the house of sexuality, and as well as power struggles, dealing with envy, jealousy, all of those things. So, with that knowledge that Pluto represents all those things, as Pluto moves through the zodiac, Pluto will bring with it that transformative energy, sometimes a death and rebirth, destruction, but always with the intent to rebuild a stronger foundation that will provide a deeper satisfaction on a soul level. The outer planets are the planets that really connect to us on a deeper spiritual level, ethereal level. And Pluto is no different. Scorpio is a very deep sign, the water sign. And so, again, matching that depthness message of Scorpio. Another thing that we can learn about Pluto, and we can learn a lot about astrology by looking at history. So, because Pluto was just discovered in 1930, we have not even seen one full revolution of Pluto moving around the sun, because it takes him 250 years to go around, right? So, but we still can learn about astrology through history if we go back 250 years to the time when Pluto, again, was leaving Capricorn, entering into Aquarius, just like how we are in now. 250 years ago, when Pluto left Capricorn and entered Aquarius, it was 1776, 1777. Okay. What was happening at that time? The formation of the United States, the U.S. Constitution, the American Revolution, but also The French Revolution was going on at that time. There are all kinds of other things around the world. What's going on right now in France that we're seeing a lot of those same energies coming back from a time that where there was an abuse of power and there was a revolt and a revolution of the people fighting against the government and the abuses of power. So with Pluto in Capricorn, now Pluto entered into Capricorn in 2008, and that's when we did see that financial collapse of the Great Recession of the United States. People are saying we're going to experience again this another great recession or collapse of the economy, but I believe that is actually not necessarily attributed to the shift of Pluto into another sign, although that does affect things because Pluto does come from the word Pluton, which means wealth. So Pluto does affect wealth and generational wealth, but the other thing that is really happening, it's affecting the United States in general, is that this is what is called the Pluto return of the United States. So when a planet returns to the spot that it was when it started its journey, that's considered a return. Again, since Pluto takes 250 years, it takes 250 years for it to return to the spot of where it was. And we are experiencing the United States' first Pluto return. And again, the Pluto will bring on the energy of death and rebirth in this country. We are seeing that, and we are seeing now Pluto leaving Capricorn, all of the exposure of the abuses and power and people wanting to revolt to get it and create something new. There will be a destruction of the powers in place, and there will rise up new powers, and this I believe will happen worldwide as well. We are seeing the fall of grace of America from being one of the was considered one of the best countries around the world, and in many people's opinions, the best country of the world. I believe we are seeing that fall of grace because historically, again, if we look at that 250-year marker, that cycle, that even 500-year cycle, we can go back and look at countries a lot older than America, United States of America, and see how empires have fallen like clockwork on that 250 mark and on that 500-year mark. And that, my friends, is attributed to Pluto and that Pluto return of the country. The Pluto return will, for the United States, will continue for the next few years, and we will continue to witness that fall of grace of America. And but that will be specifically to this country. Now, other countries like France, who are kind of going through a little bit of their own Pluto return, will also revisit those themes from 250 years ago, just like they are right now, and those themes that they've went through with the French Revolution. So, but in regards to worldwide, this is a generational shift, a societal shift. I love looking at how the previous generations just match up with the transits of Pluto. The traditionalists, and moving into the Pluto and Libra. Pluto and Leo, Pluto and Virgo, and then we've got Pluto and Libra. The Gen X generation. Generation Y was when Pluto was in Scorpio. And they say Generation Y always likes to ask a lot of questions. Why this? Why that? Why this? And what is Scorpio? The investigator of the zodiac. So it just matches perfectly. So with this Pluto moving into Aquarius, this is going to be a generational shift. A new generation will come upon us. And it will be very interesting to see how this pans out, since Aquarius is such an eccentric sign. Aquarius loves to do things original, unique, the opposite of the flow of everything. And so being different, being unique, being eccentric will come to be the norm, will come to be accepted as the norm in our society. I know it's hard to believe right now, but I can only imagine. Aquarius is known to be the eccentric of the zodiac, the alien of the zodiac. If you ask any Aquarius what they think about aliens, they'll probably tell you they feel like they are one, number one. And then they'll probably say that some of their friends are aliens. But it's just funny, because what have we been seeing a lot of talk of UFOs and aliens. This is just the beginning. We're going to see a lot more of that for sure. When I think about Aquarius, I automatically think of inventions. The new modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and Uranus was the first planet to be discovered by a telescope. And I think that's really cool because Uranus is associated with youth and invention, and So it's just interesting, the age 42, halfway around Uranus's revolution around the sun, is when we experience our midlife crisis, our Uranus opposition, where we want to reclaim our youth, be liberated from anything that's holding us back. So a lot of people do some crazy things at age 42, the things that they wish they could have done a lot sooner. But yeah, that is a revolutionary energy of liberation, being liberated from anything that's being held back. And that goes right along with that Aquarius energy. So we'll see that liberation, the feeling of being liberated. People are talking a lot more about freedoms and what actually is freedom. Do we actually have freedoms? Aquarius is all about thinking outside the box. Aquarius is probably the most expansive of all of the air signs, and just their mind is just always working on. And so, this is going to be a time where we will just see a huge increase in knowledge, sharing information all across the board, and uplifting the whole humanity so that everyone is able to succeed. We will also probably see the dark side of Aquarius, the dark side of the web, the dark side of technology, the dark side of vaccines, and the misinformation that went into the vaccines and how that was used for greed. And I think that will come out so that it can be destroyed and completely revamped and transformed into what it should be. But if you think back to 1777 to 1797, when Pluto was in Aquarius, we had the pox vaccine that helped so many people. A lot of inventions that changed the world, like the steam engine, the cotton gin. And I can only imagine how many more inventions we are going to see that are completely going to transform our world as a whole. And so, yes, 1777 and 1797, it was an inventive time. It was a time of technology advancing and the medical field advancing. And I believe we will see all of that. But there will be that destruction, that exposure of the dark side of all of those things. Even the airline industry, air travel. Everything to do with the air sign, making our money out of thin air virtually, being online. All of those things are associated with Aquarius, and they will be the new wave of the future. And so, as we embark on this new journey, starting this week, March 23rd, 2023, is when this planet moves into Aquarius, and it will only be there for 3 months, and then it will move retrograde back into Capricorn till the end of the year. But next year, when it goes into Aquarius, it will be there permanently for the next 20 years. So these next 3 months that we're going to embark on will just be like a glimpse, like a precursor of what to expect. How this air energy and Aquarius energy is going to completely transform our lives, and how we are going to completely transform this world with Aquarius at the helm. So with that, I hope you all have enjoyed today's video. Looking forward to the next one. I'm already deciding what I'm going to write or say, and I'm going to be focusing a lot on the age of Aquarius, and been saying about it since the 60s. And we are finally in this age of Aquarius. So I'm going to dive into that more and what that means, and what that means for me. So with that, I hope to see you all in the next video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like. And until next time, Astro fam, take care.